Hey there, so this video is a follow-up about the influence of special interest groups. Now obviously elections are the biggie, and you can check out the prior video for information on that, but special interest groups like to work politically to influence agencies of government in other ways as well. They often like to lobby. Lobbying means that you encourage an elected official to vote a particular way on a particular bill, or even, for example, to create a bill that will benefit your particular group. Now, the big goal when you're lobbying members of Congress, either the U.S. House or the U.S. Senate, is to get into what's called an iron triangle. And an iron triangle is called that because it is set up in a triangular fashion. There are 3 points on the iron triangle. And it's called iron because it's very, very hard to move a triangle. It's a very sturdy shape. And so if you can get to an iron triangle, that's really beneficial. An example of an iron triangle. So there are 3 points on the iron triangle. One of the points would be a special interest group that works for a business. Let's say a special interest group that works for an organization that creates planes. Okay, cool, got it. So maybe Boeing, for example. The idea behind getting in a special interest group is that you, first of all, lobby Congress. You talk to members of a congressional committee who would be making decisions that deal with the military jets that are built. Okay, that's the second portion of this iron triangle example. So the first corner is the organization, the special interest group. The second corner is a congressional committee that is making decisions. So the special interest group lobbies the congressional committee to, hey, give us the contract on those new Air Force jets. Okay, and the second point on the triangle, the congressional committee says, okay, this is good. You've submitted a good proposal. We will accept it, and you've got the contract. You can make X number of new Air Force jets. The third point on the triangle is an executive agency. Okay, so it goes to the president signs it. In this case, the executive agency would be the Department of Defense, because they're the ones that are going to benefit from having these new jets. And the more you can lobby Congress efficiently as a special interest group, the more likely you are to get into this iron triangle. And that's beneficial for that business because then they make a profit, okay? So in that iron triangle, people are happy. Now, getting into it is really challenging. Once you get in it, it's easier, and that has a lot to do with familiarity. Think about it this way. If a guy comes and, say your bathtub exploded, he comes and he fixes your plumbing, you like him, he's honest, it was a good work, he did good work, then you're going to also have a likelihood to call him again another time. So it's kind of like that scenario, but on a much larger level. It's a definite disadvantage for smaller groups and ones that are maybe newer, ones that are having more challenge getting off the ground. Special interest groups also work through courts. Special interest groups heavily were focused on, of course, the Citizens United VFEC decision, but typically when they're working through the court system, what they're doing is bringing lawsuits or joining lawsuits themselves, okay, joining a lawsuit that's already in progress. That's called an amicus, and that means friend of the court. So if you join as an amicus partner, then you would be supporting a case that's already in the court system. The more amicus partners you have, the more likely courts are invested in hearing your decision. And you can also focus on public opinion. That means numbers of people that are part of your organization. The most populous of these special interest groups in the United States right now is the AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons. And the more member numbers you have, the more power you have in terms of influence in Congress. The AARP, for example, you can join when you are 55, which is pretty young in terms of retired persons. You don't have to be retired. Most people just join so that they can get the newsletter and get several discounts which are available to members. But politically, the more people who are added in, the more heft the special interest group has on Capitol Hill. If I call up my congressman and say, hey, I'd like to talk with you, he'll say, okay, send me an email. And I'll get a form letter back. But if I call up my congressman and say, hey, I'm the AARP representative and I speak for 10,000 constituents in your district, he's going to say, when would you like to come in? And so member numbers can make a real difference. The larger the group, the more beneficial for you. Members can also donate to candidates. The special interest groups themselves are able to create PACs, which cannot coordinate directly with campaigns, but can support campaigns or speak negatively about campaigns. And so that's another method that special interest groups have great influence and great power.